at bats where you're just going back to the dugout. Hopefully today they can figure that out and in this portion of the trip with a W.
Absolutely, and they will send Jon Gray to the mound. And Jon, in his last outing, as he'll be opposed by Brandon McCarthy, who's coming back from Tommy John surgery. More on McCarthy in a moment. But Jon Gray, in his last outing, there was concern about arm fatigue. Certainly didn't look like it in beating the Toronto Blue Jays.
No, he showed increased velocity over his last 3 or 4 starts. Jon went out there and just totally dominated this lineup, had 8 strikeouts, only 4 hits. 7 innings pitched, or excuse me, 5 hits, 4 runs, 7 innings pitched. And Jon, you look at this performance, the way he threw that slider, he said, man, this is a guy that you don't have to worry about. The other thing that Jon has shown this year is a propensity to stop losing streaks. And that's what he's going to have to do right now. You saw what he did in Boston. That was coming off that start in St. Louis that he had. Then coming home, you face Cincinnati, you lost 3 in a row. He goes out there, gets another W, and then at San Diego when they lost 4 in a row, another stopper. You hate to be that stopper. You want to be the winner and the add-oner, but not the stopper. But Jon's going to have to be asked to stop a losing streak today.
Well, the Dodgers are going to be looking closely at Brandon McCarthy. It's been a while since they've seen him on a big league mound, a veteran right-hander from Colorado. He has not pitched since last April. He had Tommy John surgery April 30th of 2015. When he is healthy, this is a guy who knows how to pitch.
He does, and the Rockies saw him last year about 10 days before he blew out his elbow on April 19th. He had 6 strikeouts, only a couple walks. He's a fastball, curveball, cutter type of pitcher where he's going to be 94 miles an hour. That's what he was before he was hurt. The velocity had started to increase. So I think early on, that's where you're going to have to look at. The problem for an offense when you're facing a guy like that is, what type of approach do you have? Do you try to wait him out, or you just do normally? And I think that's where it's going to be up to Charlie and DJ, those first couple guys, to see what he has.
DJ is in the lineup once again. Trevor Story is not. Rockies during the day trying to get the bats going here at Dodger Stadium. Jon Gray, Brandon McCarthy, the Rockies, and the Dodgers. If we continue the shot a little bit, you'll see Huey actually shopping in Beverly Hills. I hope he bought me something nice. Come on back to Dodger Stadium with us. Beautiful Sunday afternoon as this Independence Day weekend continues in Southern California. And we're gathered with a whole lot of other folks at Dodger Stadium. It's game 3 of this 3-game set between the Rockies and Dodgers. The Rockies have lost the first 2 ball games here. Second of 3 series at Dodger Stadium between these 2 clubs. The Rockies took 2 of 3 about a month ago here, and they're trying to salvage this Sunday afternoon affair. It'll be Charlie Blackmon naturally leading off. He's had a good series so far. Here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. LeMahieu will bat second. DJ threw out a couple of knocks yesterday. Cargo will bat third in front of Nolan Arenado. Nolan hit a home run in the 9th inning yesterday. Descalso will bat 5th and play first base. Nick Hundley will bat 6th. Christian Adames again for Trevor Story at shortstop. The Story's getting closer. Brandon Barnes in left field and John Gray on the hill. We're ready for baseball. It's the first pitch in almost 15 months for Brandon McCarthy, and he has the first one in there for strike 1. Brandon McCarthy first hit the big leagues in 2005 in a White Sox uniform. He's also pitched for Texas, Oakland, Arizona, the Yankees briefly, and last year was his first year in a Dodger uniform, and he began the season, Huey, 3-0. The ERA was pretty high, close to 6, but he had won 3 ball games before his elbow blew out.
In 4 starts for Brandon McCarthy, and going back to those numbers last year before he was injured, one thing for Brandon, he's always been a strike thrower. He's only walked 249 guys in over 1,000 innings in the major leagues.
Well, he's not walked more than 2 batters in each of his last 32 starts. So you're going to get an opportunity to swing at a pitch that's in the strike zone.
And that's what you have to look for as a hitter when you go up to the plate. Brandon McCarthy, too, it makes it unique in that he's 6'7". So he's got a lot of arms and legs, and that window from where the ball comes out is different.
1-2, and he gets a strikeout on Blackmon as he elevates the fastball. The Rockies have done too much of that in this series. Jeff made mention of it a few moments ago. 26 strikeouts in the first 2 ball games. Defensively, the Dodgers have been very good. It's Kendrick in left field. He played second last night. Thompson and Puig join him. Turner, Seager, Utley back in there. He's at second this afternoon. Adrian Gonzalez at first, and Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. It was A.J. Ellis last night. So with 1 out, DJ LeMahieu steps up. He returned to the lineup with 2 hits last night, a single and a double, and also a pair of strikeouts. And that, just even saying that, that's uncharacteristic. I mean, DJ, one of the tougher guys to strike out in the National League.
Let's just put the ball in play with DJ. I mean, even Charlie, that last pitch that he struck out on, high elevated fastball, just really uncharacteristic. But if you look at the strikeout rate, what's happened in the 5 or 6 games here at Dodger Stadium this year? They're striking out 1 every 2.9 at bats, and one of the highest rates going for Dodger Stadium in the Rockies.
Here's a 2-0, and that's a strike. 2-1. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. The Rockies in the series, they've gotten production up top with Blackmon and LeMahieu 5 for 12. The rest of the club 3 for 30. A 100 batting average. 2-1, and a base hit to right for LeMahieu.
Right fielder number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
A higher average now for DJ on the Subaru Supermo. It's a thigh-high fastball, and what do you know? Another base hit to right field for DJ.
And that'll bring up Cargo, who's had success against McCarthy in the past. 4 for 11 against Brandon McCarthy.
The Rockies are trying everything. They pulled out all the stops today, Drew. Going with the high pants up. Everybody. Cargo's got it. Nolan, DJ.
Cargo looks funny with the.
That's what made me think of it. Just seeing Cargo.
This is hitting the air down the left field line, and it's going to fall out of play. Everybody looking like Hunter Pence, right?
Right. I told the story before when I was with the Angels and we took one bat up there just like Little League. We had to pick out one generic model. It was a 34-32.
Isn't that the game you got thrown out of and then invited back?
No. Or Orlando Palmeiro did. His very first batter of the game. Got thrown out because he dropped his bat at home plate. Bengie Molina got his first major league hit with that bat.
With that bat, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't, I think it was maybe Tim Salmon or somebody like that. It wasn't Mo Vaughn's bat because nobody could swing that thing.
It's too heavy,
yeah,
right?
It was 34-32, C271.
So it's comfortable for everybody.
That's right. If it was a little too heavy, you had to choke up.
1-1. And Carr goes right on that. A 93-mile-an-hour center cut fastball. It's 1-2. The ballpark plays differently in the day than it does at night. Pretty typical of California baseball stadiums.
Especially today with the warm weather. There's a slight breeze. The infield will dry out in a hurry.
And they set up away and they throw a fastball away, and Cargo does not connect with it. 2 outs. That'll bring up Nolan, who had an interesting night last night, a frustrating night. Not only did his club lose, he had 3 strikeouts until his 4th at bat, and he was able to, behind in the count, take Chris Hatcher deep. That's the Rockies' only run. It was his 22nd home run.
You can just tell from his body language there was a little solace in that home run. It helped take, maybe a small sting out of it, but striking out. You're losing 6-0 at the time. You don't want to be shut out. Hits the ball out, but it's just still doesn't feel right.
One ball, 1 strike.
So far from Brandon McCarthy, there's no ill effects with the elbow. Nor should there be if he's making his return to the big leagues after Tommy John. But just watching velocities for the curveball at 80 miles an hour is 81 in 2015 before he left to have surgery. The fastball was averaging 93.5 miles an hour. We've seen a 93 today from Brandon McCarthy.
And he didn't make, a multitude of rehab starts. He made just 4.
Well, and that's where, as a veteran pitcher, you kind of know what your body is and how it feels. Well, some guys will say, well, you need to make 5 or 6. And no one's arguing on the Subaru strike zone with that last call.
Dave Roberts, skipper of the Dodgers in his first year. Not at all a surprise that he became a manager. A really cerebral player. 2-2.
I thought he might get the chance to manage down in San Diego, where he had been forever.
A lot of people thought that when they made the surprising move to relieve Bud Black of his managerial duties last year.
Well, then they brought in Pat Murphy, or promoted Pat Murphy. Murphy was there till the end of the season. Then he left to become bench coach of Milwaukee. With Craig Counsell, who he coached in college at Notre Dame.
That's a fair ball. Tough chance for McCarthy, and he makes it. So McCarthy, in his return, 2 strikeouts and a pretty good fielding play. So the Rockies get a base hit from LeMahieu, nothing else. We'll see Jon Gray when we return. as we go to the bottom of the first. Chase Utley's going to lead things off for the Dodgers. Let's take a look at Dave Roberts' Southwest batting order. Corey Seager riding a 15-game hitting streak. He'll bat second. And then Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, Trace Thompson. Howie Kendrick will bat sixth. Yasiel Puig down in the 7th spot. I don't know if I've seen that before. Yasmani Grandal 8th, and then Brandon McCarthy. Seager has the 5th longest rookie hitting streak in Dodger history. Longest was Tommy Davis, hitting 20 straight. Tommy Davis, who was here yesterday for Old Timers Day, an interesting bit of trivia for the Dodgers. He is the only Dodger in their long storied history to capture a batting title. How about that?
Wow.
And he has 2 of them. First pitch.
Nobody else did.
No other Dodger ever won a batting title. I couldn't believe that. Here's the 1-0, and that's right there, a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And we look at Jon Gray's numbers, looking for victory number 6, Huey.
And his last 7 starts, he's 4-1 with a 3.45 ERA. Pretty low whip at 1.18.
Curveball's lifted to shallow right, and Carr goes there, 1 out. Well, so much of the conversation surrounding Jon Gray was about arm fatigue after the Yankee Stadium appearance. He did not miss a start. He was really bringing it in his last out.
Yeah, in his last 30 days for Jon Gray, he has the 5th highest average velocity on his fastball at 94.7. So if there's any question, is it hurting? Is it tired? Is it sore? Well, I don't think that's the case. I mean, Noah Syndergaard's still #1 on that list at over 98 miles an hour average velocity on his fastball.
Noah Syndergaard was pitching today, and he was staked to about a 400-run lead against the Cubs, so I assume he held on.
Did they have enough zeros on the board for that 400 runs?
Yeah, they're up 14-2 in the 9th inning. The Cubs are about to be swept in 4 straight by a Mets team that was wobbling coming into that series. All of a sudden, the Cubs are taking on water.
And that was John Lester who made that start.
He got 4 outs, gave up 8 runs.
It's been a tough day for back-to-back days. Lester and Arrieta.
And Hamill before that. Hamill gave up 8 runs.
That's right.
2-2 on Corey Seager. See John working and Pepper in the bottom of that Subaru strike zone. Adames positioned right up the middle defensively. Here's the 2-2 on Seager. That's a base hit, and it's now a 16-game hitting streak. That's 3 straight ball games where he's gotten any of the drama out of the way. He's got him in his first at bat, the hits.
He's been on base over 500 now against the Rockies this year.
Number 10, Justin Turner.
Barnes, Blackman, Gonzalez in the defensive alignment for the Rockies. Descalso playing first base. Adames again for Story at shortstop. And Nick Hundley had last night off. One of the other reasons that Walters played against the lefty, Kazmir. Bettis throwing to him had pretty good numbers. But also Nick Hundley, with the matchup with Brandon McCarthy, you'll see Nick next inning. 6 for 14, so he has swung it very well against McCarthy. That's one of the reasons Walt decided on that. Cargo does not have to move, 2 outs. One more note on that Mets-Cubs game today. Yesterday, C.J. Cron went 6 for 6 for the Angels. He had 5 runs, scored 5 RBIs. There was another one today. Wilmer Flores of the Mets went 6 for 6 with 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored, hit a pair of home runs. The last big leaguer before Cron yesterday with 6 hits was Charlie Blackmon.
Opening day.
The opening day of 2014 against Arizona.
Well, another position player had to finish that game. Miguel Montero, last 4 outs for the Cubs.
Miggy to the hill. It's not good when you're playing where you have a week where everybody on the roster got to throw an inning. This isn't travel ball at 13.
Ryan Goins for Toronto had to throw the other day, and then the next day he went on the DL with elbow tightness.
And that's why managers, we enjoy it as fans, but managers are loath to do it. A 1 on Adrian Gonzalez.
It's already the third or fourth curveball that John's thrown, and that one should have been called a strike on the Subaru strike zone.
Angel Hernandez, the crew chief, is behind the plate. Lance Barksdale at first, Will Little at second, Jim Wolf is at third. 2 outs and 1 on. Good pitch. It disappeared, that slider, 1-2.
That's where John has been able to rack up the strikeouts. On the right-hander, he'll take it to the other batter's box. To the left-handers, it's a back foot slider.
Dangerous man, Adrian Gonzalez. Typical night for him. He had a base hit to drive in a run. Later in the ball game, a sac fly. A couple ribbies yesterday for Gonzalez. 1-2, and this is in the air to shallow right center. Cargo's got the glove raised. He's got it, and John Gray has safely navigated inning number 1. We're off to inning number 2. No score at Dodger Stadium on a cloudless Southern California afternoon. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the 2016 Toyota Tundra and your hometown Toyota stores. By Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Inland from the beaches of Southern California, we are at Dodger Stadium. Rockies and Dodgers. Tomorrow on the 4th of July, the Rockies will be up north in San Francisco. The Dodgers continuing this homestand. Daniel Descalso stepping in against 6'7" Brandon McCarthy, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1 to Daniel, takes that 1-1. Brandon McCarthy went to Cheyenne Mountain High School in Colorado Springs, graduated in 2001, and then went down to Lamar Community College, which cranks out big, tall pitchers over the years.
17th rounder out of Lamar, 510th overall pick in 2002, and then he makes his debut in 2005, so pretty short journey to the major leagues.
Especially for a junior college player drafted, as you said, in the 17th round. See, the velocity's been sitting on 93. One thing we noticed last year, and you made mention of this, is that in his start 10 days before his UCL blew out, he was throwing 95 to 97, and that's strike 3.
And it had been trending upwards in 2 previous years, because in 2013 he was about 90, 91. Then 2014 had gone up to 92 to 93. And then in 15, before he's hurt, he's 95, 96.
Which sometimes is indicative that, you know, that there's been a lot of stretching in that ligament, and may, not always, but it may snap.
But you do hear of that. I mean, even before Ottavino went on the DL, that's the first guy that comes to my mind, is that he was throwing harder.
Yes, no question. I mean, he was 97, 98 when, you know, in the past, he's always had a great arm, but, you know, he's working more 93, 95. Fans, you can join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos, and questions via Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag #ToyotaTalk. Get to as many Twitter Talk comments as we can throughout the game. So Hundley 6 for 14, drawing the assignment today against McCarthy, and he takes that low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Walt talked to us in the dugout, said it wasn't ideal last night, that you know, he had Tony going up against the left-hander and Scott Kazmir, but he liked this matchup with McCarthy and Nick.
That's a fair ball.
Not going to work out.
Yeah. 2 outs, and it'll bring up Christian Adames. Adames had a double in last night's game. One of the 5 hits for the Rockies. Love the high socks. Let's get it today. That's from Samantha.
And the only guy that's not wearing it, and the reason being is he's got to throw the shin guards on, is Nick Hundley. It's kind of uncomfortable for those shin guards to sit up against that high pants when they're pulled up. But everybody else is following suit.
Now they make, you know, the knicker pants, but the Rockies don't have those, I think, in their repertoire, so you have to kind of manage it yourself and roll them up old style.
Yeah, and that's why Nick doesn't do it, because you see all the extra material by the knee.
This is floated toward left field, and Kendrick makes the catch. And that's all for the Rockies. A short, quick inning for Brandon McCarthy.
As we head to the bottom of the second. Jenny Cavnar back with you down by the Rockies dugout. You know, for Jon Gray, last outing was really because he only went 4 innings, I should say, in New York, got that extra rest, and for Steve Foster, that's something he needed to come back strong.
Preparation prevents panic, and good rest always helps all pitchers. He got a little bit of a rest, and we took it a little easy, gave his arm a break, and it recovered. So sometimes pitchers need a break, and that's what he got.
Well, that break gave him 7 strong innings against Toronto with 8 strikeouts. So Gray, as you can see, as the guys were talking about earlier, his velocity has increased over the course of the last couple of games. This is the getting stronger that Steve Foster was talking about. Against Toronto, 95.8 miles an hour. That was his fastball velocity. Whereas at the beginning of the month against San Diego, just 94.2. So that's something, again, they're really monitoring with Jon Gray. They want to get him that rest. They don't like that heavy feeling in his arm. But again, all you needed was a couple of innings in New York for that bounce-back game in Toronto. Today's game will really be the tall tale to see if he can still get the length and keep that velocity up.
Yeah, he didn't long toss, Jenny, between the Yankee start and his start against Toronto. And he felt fresh, looked fresh. Got a 2-2 count right now on Trayce Thompson as that last fastball was at 95. Thompson 2 for 4 yesterday with a couple of RBIs. And that fastball at 96. Fouled off. When you played at Dodger Stadium, Huey, for whatever reason, it always seems brighter here. Even, I know that sounds silly because it's the afternoon, but did it feel that way as a player?
Yeah, down on the field and with these seats too, because they're yellow, they kind of reflect a little bit down low. So there's always a glassy look when you're looking back towards the hitter. So you'll see guys with glasses on.
This ball is crushed to center field, and it is gone. Home run number 13 for Thompson.
Well, the one area that has hurt Jon this year is giving up the home run. 8 straight ball games now for Jon giving up a home run. That was a slider on the Subaru Supermo that Thompson took out to dead center field, 13th of the season.
And for Jon Gray, it's the 12th home run he's allowed. One nothing LA. Kendrick at the plate with a 1-1 count. Other rookies that have allowed some home runs. That nicked Kendrick. He'll go to first. That part of the jersey.
These are the hit by pitches
Right
that
fielder,
don't hurt.
number 66.
Because they don't hit you, they hit the jersey.
So Yasiel Puig hitting 7th in the lineup today. Puig 1 for 3. Was hit by a pitch yesterday. Also drove in a run. Rockies have been outscored 12-1 so far in the series. Dodgers are playing really well at home. They've won 8 consecutive ball games at home. 16 of their last 19 at Dodger Stadium for Doc, Dave Roberts.
Just 5 games behind San Francisco, and they're season high 9 games over 500.
We're talking to Vince Scully before the game, and it's kind of a nondescript Dodger team in that so many Dodger teams have an abundance of big names up and down their lineup, and they run typically very well. Trayce Thompson runs well, but Corey Seager is going to be a star, but that's going to be with the bat. You look at Vin, Chase Utley, and Adrian Gonzalez, even guys like Justin Turner, Howie Kendrick, they've all been around a long time.
Professional at bats, professional players. They only have 25 stolen bases. They've been caught 14 times. This is 64%, so that's nothing there.
Yeah. but they're winning.
They find ways to win.
And now they have to win in the absence, at least for a couple of weeks, of Clayton Kershaw. 1-2, and another throw to check on Kendrick, who's not a big base stealer. Kendrick's got average speed at best.
But he'll pick his spots. He's 7 for 7 stolen bases, but not like he was when he first came up, where he ran a lot more.
Kershaw again on the disabled list with a back issue. He had an epidural a few days ago. He was originally supposed to start on Friday.
Like any pitcher has a baseball in his hand working on his grip.
Three and two. Thompson a leadoff home run. Kendrick grazed by a pitch is at first, and now it's 3-2 on Puig. Kendrick probably will be in motion here.
John, just hold the ball just an extra second before you go home to see if you can lock up Howie Kendrick.
He did. Kendrick takes off. Ball 4. Nick Conley, as you should do, go ahead and throw it, because sometimes the mechanics of the umpire, the home umpire, are not instantaneous where they let you know ball or strike. So he felt like it was a borderline pitch. He went ahead and threw it, but it was ball 4. And now Steve Foster, after the hit by pitch and the walk, is going to come out and talk to John Gray.
This is a mechanical speech to John. The last few times he's been spinning off that landing and then spinning real hard towards first base and not finishing out in front. But you're absolutely right, Drew, with Nick, that, you know, catch the ball, make the throw. We've seen Nolan do it at third. It's really hard sometimes. You have it in your mind that I'm going to make this play before you hear a ball say it's foul, or the umpire behind home plate say ball. You're already in your throwing motion. Don't stop it then.
And a strike on Grandal. Grandal, the former Padre. Had a rough June. Hit below 200 in June.
Hitting 179 left-handed.
Which is not good, because most of his at-bats come left-handed.
In his career, he's just a 230 hitter left-handed. So it's not like, you know, he's a 280 and he's hitting 179 now.
He's a guy you can't mess with, though, because Grandal has a lot of power. 7 home runs this year. And when you look at the swing, Huey, you wouldn't think he's a 230 hitter.
I think it'd be better than that. I mean, there's not swing from the heels. He has the power, but it's not an all uppercut swing.
Ball cuts in, 2-2. Yeah, it's so funny. You look at swings and sometimes you say, man, that's a beautiful looking swing, and doesn't always translate. And then you see a guy, I'll tell you, a guy who has a real uphill swing, and you want a little bit of loft in your swing, going back to the old Ted Williams Bible, if you will. look at Prince Fielder, and you know, Prince, he's come on a little bit, but had a tough year. But throughout his career, Prince been a great hitter, not only a power hitter, but a great hitter. And I mean, that's a swing you wouldn't think would produce a 300 batting average. Foul tip off the glove of Hundley.
That's the old line. If it works, stick with it. There was a kid, Prince, that was hitting home runs at old Tiger Stadium when he was 12.
You can hit, you can hit. It's a beautiful thing about baseball. Everybody's setup's different. Everybody gets to a launch position in a different way. Three and two. Jon Gray struggling here in the second. Bunch of pitches, nobody out as a concerned Walt Weiss looks on.
22 pitches this inning, had just 13 in the first inning.
Tell you something else, John's been a lot more deliberate.
You know who called timeout there? Nick called timeout because he saw Howie Kendrick dancing off a second base. And he didn't want him to get too far out there because John hadn't turned around to check him. So Nick had the whole play in front of him. He made the call.
We'll get another 3-2. Runners going, ball four. Now they're loaded up. Three straight free passes, or a hit batter, 2 walks after the home run by Trace Thompson.
Batting the pitcher, number 38, Brandon McCarthy.
Brandon McCarthy, not much of a hitter in his career, just 5 for 81.
This is one where you almost prefer your guy to strike out and not swing the bat at all because you're worried about, you know, him hitting a little comebacker that turns into a double play. That would work well for the Rockies. That's all for show. He's not. Certainly not going to bunt.
And especially after you've had a hit by pitch and 2 walks to load the bases. Pitcher's not going to swing or fire at the first one.
One and one.
Again, all for show.
Top of the order represented by Chase Utley on deck. John can't throw strikes consistently. 2 and 1.
Most of the trouble he's had has been to his glove side.
McCarthy, to support your point, has hit just .062 in 11 years, and it's 3 and 1.
There's the glove side. Every single one on the Subaru strike zone. And when that happens, yeah, when you're pulling off, exactly. So the left shoulder is leading, and it's going more around than it is downward towards the plate.
I think as an athlete, And you're going to have wonderful coaches around you the higher levels you get to. But as an athlete, you have to be your own best coach no matter what the sport is.
And you have to be able to figure it out on the fly, because you're not going to have coaches be able to run out there all the time, tell you what you're doing wrong.
Got to self-correct. That misses, and he just walked in a run. Walked the pitcher and walked in a run. 3 straight walks, 2-0 LA.
Unbelievable. You can just kind of see the body language of the guys out on the field.
26, Chase Utley.
Nobody feels worse about it by John's point of view, but you still have to figure it out. Throw a strike.
I mean, with that at bat, to a guy who's giving himself up, basically, he's
did not want to swing.
This isn't Madison Bumgarner that if you throw him a cookie, he's going to hit it a mile. Brandon McCarthy can't hit. He's got to throw, 3 fastballs somewhere in the strike zone, and you're going to get an out.
Set up right down the middle. Eddie Butler just had to get up now.
And Utley hits a fly ball to shallow right. I doubt Puig's going to challenge Cargo from that spot. He will not. 1 out. Took 6 batters to get an out.
And a ton of pitches.
Corey Seager.
With 32 pitches for this inning.
Seager with a base hit through the right side in the first inning. Now it's a 16-game hitting streak. The average at .303. .46 pitches in. Gray's thrown 26 strikes, 20 balls. It doesn't feel like that. I mean, that's not a great ratio, but it seems like he's thrown 26 out of the zone and maybe 20 in the zone.
Yeah, with 3 straight walks included.
And the hit batter.
Yeah, right.
He's thrown 16 of those 20 balls here in this inning.
I'd challenge Corey with a fastball. The base hit on a breaking pitch in the first inning. He's 8th in the major leagues hitting breaking balls, at .312 average. What they're trying to do, they try to go up on Corey.
One and 2. Curveball nowhere close. Struck him out. 2 outs. That'll bring up Justin Turner. First strikeout today for John Gray.
Baby slider on the Subaru Supermo. Corey Seager tried to pull the hands in to make contact.
Turn hitter fly ball to right his first time. Bases loaded, and he fouls that pitch off. Turner typically very aggressive. Turner's come on after a slow start. 3 for 4 yesterday. He's 4 for 7 in the series. 4th time this year he's come up with a 3-hit game. 340 average over his last 25. And a line shot, base hit over the head of Adames. 1 run is scored, and the throw is in plenty of time to get Yasmani Grandal. That'll end the inning. 3 runs for the Dodgers as Jon Gray walked 3 and hit a batter. So the Rockies behind 3-0 as we go to the 3rd. Good throw from Barnes. Third base coach Chris Woodward, and you could thank him that the inning isn't still going on for the Dodgers. You talk about a poor decision. You have Yasmani Grandal at second, your catcher. You have Adrian Gonzalez, one of the great RBI men, coming up. You have Brandon Barnes throwing. He already threw out Puig this weekend, and he throws out Grandal by 20 feet. Why on earth, and I'm glad he did, why on earth would you send him there?
That was a mistake by Chris, because where Brandon caught that ball and where Yasmani was when he hit third base, this is an easy throw. Remember, Brandon didn't even have to get rid of it quickly. It was just make sure that you give the catcher a nice long hop, and that's what he did. And now you're out of the inning without any more damage being done. I mean, 3's a lot, but it could have been even more than that with Adrian coming up.
Now, I'm sure if Chris had an opportunity to do it over again, he would put up the stop sign. See if the Rockies can take advantage. Of course, you had Jon Gray reeling there too, and it gives Jon Gray a chance to catch his breath, and hopefully he can turn around his game. 3-0 LA. As we go to the 3rd, it'll be Barnes, Gray, and then Charlie Blackmon. The Rockies had to get Eddie Butler up in that 2nd inning. Now, if you had your pitcher coming up, even though you probably want to flip the lineup over, it just was a curious decision. Barnes takes a strike, and kind of standard operating procedure if you've been on defense for a long time.
You have to, and that's part of this problem in these first couple games. You're playing uphill. You have to do things differently offensively. There's still no excuse for all the strikeouts, but you still, when you're already on the defensive when you go to hit. You're down by 3. It's been a long inning. You're out there probably time on defense about 20 minutes at minimum. that last half inning.
Yeah, 39 pitch inning for Gray. 0-2 on Barnes. 1-2. Rockies have already struck out 3 times today, 29 times in the series, and they've been outscored 14-1. Brandon's been a breath of fresh air. He always is. He's been swinging the bat well. He's been playing great defense, throwing 2 guys out, as you know it, at the plate in this series. The homestand, he went 10 for 24. And a slow roller to third. Turner gets Barnes by half a step. When the Rockies score 7 runs or more in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Lip Moss at Taco Bell. Jon Gray to the plate. And while John goes up there, I want to make mention of a couple of players down in the minor leagues for the Rockies. First pitch is a strike. Riley Pint, the Rockies' #1 pick, made his professional debut 36 hours ago. Pitched 2 scoreless innings, allowed a hit, no walks, struck out 2. It's a nice debut for Riley Pint. He is pitching for Grand Junction over on the western slope. And this is a developing feel-good story, the one I'm about to tell you, and I hope it continues to develop, because you're talking about a really good young man who's tasted quite a bit of success for a short period at the big league level, and has dealt with something other guys have dealt with, throwing the baseball, just all of a sudden mentally struggling to throw strikes, and that's Tyler Matzek. Well, a day and a half ago, he went an inning and a third, allowed 3 hits, but he didn't walk a batter, 2 strikeouts, and he has a 1.54 ERA over his last 10 appearances. 19 strikeouts over 11 2/3, and Huey just 6 walks. So really making progress, and it's great to hear about that.
And then baby steps. I mean, he just keeps building and building from where he started to where he's at now. He's not a finished product again. It'll probably be the bullpen for Tyler. And in case you missed it, Irv Moss had a nice piece in the Denver Post about Tyler on Saturday. So that was a nice article to read. I mean, we saw somebody here the other day that had that, though. Steve Sachs. It's second baseman. Chuck Knobloch has had it.
Yeah, it's not just pitchers.
No.
And Steve Blass probably was the first and most famous in the 70s. Steve, a longtime broadcaster with the Pirates, had a great career going, and then, you know, struggled with that. I think it's encouraging for a player. Maybe it doesn't make it easier, but to know that there are, you know, guys that have been afflicted with that in the past.
And I just like that there's help now available for that. You know, you can talk to people, and it's not hush hush.
Well, there's so many things that are difficult about this game. None more so than, we've talked about it a lot, dealing with the disappointment, with the difficulty of the game, the mental side of the game. I was down in Albuquerque at one of my boys' events for a couple days, so I missed a game on Friday, and I went over and saw John Traub, who's the excellent general manager of the Albuquerque Isotopes, and they had just left for a road trip in Sacramento. And, you know, I was in the clubhouse and visiting with some guys that were staying put. And one of the things I noticed on the wall was this sign that for minor league players, that there's a 1-800 number that they can call if they're, you know, if they're dealing with, you know, difficult things and surrounding the game, outside the game. And I would imagine when you were playing, Huey, and coming up through the minor leagues, that probably, it certainly wasn't a poster on the wall.
No, you didn't have that, and you felt like if I go to talk to my coach or my manager about it, that somehow I'll be looked bad upon. I mean, you just didn't have those options, and that's why I'm saying I'm thankful that it's part of now not only baseball but our culture, that we can seek help.
Yep,
it's okay.
Well, all the offense, other than the home run by Arenado, I say all the offense. More the hits have been mostly owned by the guy at first and the guy at the plate, Blackmon and LeMahieu.
Been this whole series.
Yeah. I mean, the Rockies have 8 hits coming into the ball game in the series. LeMahieu had a single in the first, and now Charlie's 2 out base hits, so they have 10 hits. Down 3-0 here in the third. Brandon McCarthy making his return off Tommy John surgery. And a curveball for a strike, 1-1. Rockies trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Today, the midpoint of the season, it's game 81. Ground ball to short. Seager will go across the diamond, and the Rockies are done in their half of the third. Blackmon left the board. 3-0 LA.
The third, Los Angeles has a 3-0 lead. Trevor Story just going down into the clubhouse there. He's not playing in the game today. He told me he is available to pinch hit. He could also hopefully start tomorrow. Let's get you caught up on some other news, our all copy news and notes. Tyler Chatwood, he is returning to the starting rotation from the disabled list. Of course, he had that back issue. He's going to start Tuesday, Walt Weiss confirmed today, against San Francisco. Chatwood smiling ear to ear in the clubhouse, very excited to get back into the rotation. And Adam Ottavino back-to-back rehab appearances for him with AAA. Great news there. He pitched an inning in each game, had a couple of strikeouts. Guys, that's a huge hurdle for him to cross coming back from Tommy John surgery. And Walt Weiss was saying they're going to check him out in San Francisco. He could possibly come off the DL on this road trip. That would be huge for him, as Adrian Gonzalez gets a base hit right there. It would be huge for him, considering what he's had to go through. He kind of targeted All-Star break. If he could come back before, I know he'd be happy, but they're going to be really careful again with Adam Ottavino. But great news to get Tyler Chatwood and Ottavino back very soon. The Rockies kind of adding those pieces back slowly but surely.
Yeah, it'll be great to see Ottavino back, and pitched effectively on back-to-back days with Albuquerque. He's had a number of rehab stints, not stints, but rehab appearances. And I would imagine he'll be back in the fold in the next few days. Leadoff base hit by Gonzalez. Trace Thompson homered leading off the second inning. And then Jon Gray struggled with his command. He hit Kendrick, walked Puig, Grandal, and McCarthy in succession. The latter walk forced in a run. And then there was a base hit by Turner later on in the inning to drive in another run. 3-0 LA.
Trace's home run in the second inning went to the big boy part of the park, dead center field.
That's for Matt Kemp, who played a lot of center field here for a number of years. Now with the Padres, hit a lot of his home runs straight away. One and two. I know Nolan's mom Millie was coming up to the ball game. I would imagine Trace's family is here as well. And I wonder
Buds
if
from way back.
Yeah, I wonder if they sit together. The families are very close. We told you before that Trace Thompson and Nolan Arenado are best friends.
My guess would be no.
Now, you can do it when you're playing on the same travel ball team. It's a little more difficult in a first of all, this family section for the Rockies is going to be different than the family section for the Dodgers.
Well, and it just what it means to each individual and team.
Strike three. So Gray freezes Thompson. That's his second strikeout. That'll bring up Kendrick.
Worked him high and then worked him down and low on the Subaru Supermo. Just froze Trace Thompson.
Howie Kendrick also got off to a slow start offensively this year. He's picked it up over his last 18 games, hitting .310.
Well, that's why the Dodgers in their last 18 games are 13-5, because you're starting to get guys like Howie Kendrick. You mentioned Justin Turner. Adrian Gonzalez is driving in more runs.
0-2. Kendrick hit just a .151 in April. Eddie Butler's throwing again in the Rockies bullpen.
I was thinking the workload and the pitch count right now for John, and having to throw 39 pitches last inning.
Ground ball to first, tag play at second, good throw by Descalso, double play, and the Dodgers are done as we go to the fourth. Rockies, we've been saying it all weekend, have to get the bats going. They trail 3-0. Cargo to lead it off. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. And by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. Rockies at the middle of the order coming up at Dodger Stadium in the fourth, trailing 3-0. Cargo, Nolan Arenado, and Daniel Descalso against Brandon McCarthy, who so far has looked very good in his return from Tommy John surgery. If you're Dave Roberts, if you're Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, you got to be thrilled.
4 ground ball outs, 4 strikeouts, 2 singles.
Cargo struck out on a fastball away his first time up. And Cargo pushes a bunt foul. Now you always talk about with no strikes, you know, trying to be fine with the bunt, but with the shift on, you don't have to be as fine.
No, that's a different bunt there. Just get it down towards the third baseline, just past the pitcher. Somewhere over in that area right there, and you're going to be standing on first base with the base hit.
Cargo is able to do that with some degree of success the last couple of years, especially 2 years ago it seemed like. This year he hasn't gotten many down, but you know, he's also hitting .322, so can't complain. You see him flip the bat up in the air. He had the same pitch. He's frustrated because that's a pitch you want to put in play with authority. And his first at bat, a similar pitch, and he was on it. You go, oh man, you're right on it. But in your head, aren't you saying, Huey, man, that should have been a line drive somewhere?
What you're saying is, how did I miss that? Is what you're saying, and that's why you flip the bat.
Because now you're going to get something dirty and another strikeout. So Cargo's woes at Dodger Stadium continue.
Well, Live Rockies Baseball is here with MLB.com. A bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with stats, news, and more.
Nolan, a comebacker, his first time up. Pulled foul down the third base line. That home run by Nolan last night in the ninth inning stopped a 17-inning scoreless drought. And this is to shallow right. Puig's there, 2 outs.
Late break by Puig.
I don't think he saw it initially.
Number 3,
the high sky.
Yeah, it's a high sky, but it's also a beautiful day, but it's somewhat hazy because I'm looking out at the San Gabriels, and you know, like for instance, last night you could see them crisply in the background, and
but it goes back
to more difficult right now.
Yeah, trying to pick the ball off the hitting zone with the seats behind it, the brightness, people wearing white shirts. Pick the ball up out of that. I used to say, hey, those people behind home plate, you should have to give them those pullover mesh jerseys or something, so it's a darker color.
We have a hitting background. There should be a fielding background. And this is in the air to shallow center. Thompson is there. It's another quick inning for Brandon McCarthy. Rockies have got zilch going on offense throughout this series. 3-0 LA. 11-0. 2013, there were a couple of them. Max Scherzer, now Strasburg's teammate. Clay Buchholz with Boston started that year 11-0. Clay Buchholz not having the same kind of year this year with Boston. He's been moved to the bullpen. Yasiel Puig, that's a fair ball. And Puig will jog into second with a leadoff double in the fourth.
Number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Curveball on the Subaru Supermo. Belt high, didn't have the bite on it. Sneaks it inside the bag and then past Nolan. Not even close on the Subaru Supermo. Nolan can't get it. Nobody can.
Grandal walked his first at bat on a 3-2 pitch. Two strikes on Grandal. Shift is on for Yasmani. One of my pet peeves, Huey, in baseball is pitchers that throw a pitch that have no purpose at all.
Not close to the zone. A hitter doesn't fish for it. Doesn't even think about it. You see it more. We just saw it there. You know, 0-2. It just.
You don't want to throw one down the middle, obviously,
No.
but you don't want to have a 4-foot miss where there was no point to it all. And you know, John probably wasn't trying to miss by that much, but you do see that a lot where, okay, it's 0-2 and.
Or they'll bury one at 55 feet. It's just. The hitter saying thank you. Now that right there, if that's 0-2, that's a pitch that he might offer at. It's close enough to the Subaru strike zone with some tail on it.
Now Grandal feeling better because he's back in the count at 2-2.
Back to an even count.
Nolan battling the sun. I don't know if he sees it. He does. And a double play. I don't know if it was a deke or just horrible base running by Puig.
I think I'll go with the latter. Because where's he going to go?
He doesn't have to move up.
No,
he's not forced. You're right.
Behind him.
Number 38,
Just a bad play by Puig, and the Rockies take advantage.
And then the smarts from Nolan to throw it to second base, getting some help. Dylan 2-2-2. I mean, that's not even close. That's by 2 steps.
That is just terrible. What is he thinking?
Right. Where are you going? Now, this is a teaching moment for young kids with nobody behind you. You don't have to go off the bag, but the Rockies will take it, and they'll take that gift out.
Oh, and 1 on McCarthy. Walked and got a free RBI, his first plate appearance in almost a year and a half. Yeah, John Gray likes to hunt ghosts. Okay. Everybody has an avocation. Two and two.
I think I heard him say one time he wanted to go up to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park and take that ghost tour.
Yeah, we all know there are ghosts there, right?
That's what they say.
Stayed there. I didn't see one. Strike 3. That'll end the inning. Puig led off with a double, and then his base running mishap led to a double play. We'll go to the 5th inning. Rockies trailing 3-zip. Ball brought to you by T-Mobile. This is such a great thing and so appropriate. Happy 4th of July at Fort Bragg. Miami and the Atlanta Braves will play at Fort Bragg tonight. First time any sport has been played on an active military base. We talked about Steven Strasburg. He went to 11-0, 6 2/3 no-hit innings. First National League pitcher to begin a season 11-0 since '85. There was Andy Hawkins the last time with the Padres in 1985. We told you about the 2 American League pitchers most recently to start 11-0, Scherzer and Buchholz in 2013. Scherzer obviously with Detroit then. Zach Greinke, he had the oblique strain. After a couple innings, he came out in his last start, and he'll be on the shelf for a bit for Arizona, and he had been pitching very, very well.
For Strasburg, that had been his first start since June 15th. And how about this at Fort Bragg?
This is how they built the stadium on land there at Fort Bragg, and tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain, it'll be the Marlins and the Braves, and a time lapse of the building of that ballpark at Fort Bragg.
What's really neat about that is that it will be then converted into a multi-purpose recreational facility to be used by all our wonderful servicemen and women and their families.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what I can't believe is, do you know how long it took them? They began that in March. It took them a little over 4 months, or right around 4 months.
I just listen to the comments and the players talk about that, and what an honor it is for them to be able to go play a game there tonight.
It's also going to be the first regular season game played in the state of North Carolina, which is a great baseball state. I mean, the Seegers are out of North Carolina. There's a lot of tremendous players that have come out of North Carolina. Walt Weiss went to North Carolina. His son Bo, one of his boys, going to the University of North Carolina, beginning his freshman year. It's a hotbed for baseball. Its first big league regular season game tonight at Fort Bragg.
Isn't USA Baseball down there in Cary, North Carolina?
Cary, North Carolina is where the team USA's emanate from, and there's tournaments played there. Look at this. Great stuff tonight. Special moment for Major League Baseball, and in particular for the Marlins and the Braves. I think you'll have an extra bounce in your step when you go to take your spot.
I think you'll stand up a little taller when the national anthem is being played.
Absolutely. Nick Hundley leading off for the Rockies. Here's the 2-2 outside, 3-2. McCarthy has allowed 2 base runners. Single in the first to LeMahieu with 1 out, and then a 2-out hit by Charlie Blackmon in the third. Curveball is inside. So the first walk allowed. See if the Rockies can take advantage. Their first leadoff man reaches, and that'll bring up Adames.
Number 18, Christian Adames.
58 pitches in. We mentioned that because McCarthy, is not going to throw like Strasburg 109 today, coming off Tommy John surgery.
And the most he threw was in his last rehab start, through 72 pitches, 5 innings. So I would look for somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 85, maybe 90 pitches for Brandon McCarthy. But if you're Dave Robertson, scripting his first 4 innings to have just under 50 or 60 pitches now, as you're working in the 5th inning, you said, I'll take it and we'll just move on to there.
Adames needs a new bat. That boy came out with 11 bats. Which one do you like, sir?
I like this one. Which one? Yeah, that one.
So we went to a sporting goods store. Went to the Louisville factory.
It is like Christmas when you get the bats in from your bat company. You pull out 12 brand new bats. And then you start to select which ones are going to make it into the game and which ones are giveaways and which one are BP bats.
Which ones will become Wonder Boy?
And then a Wonder Boy, I think you have to put it in that special case then, right? Is that what he did with the Wonder Boy bat?
Like in a violin case. Called strike, 1-2. Christian thought that was off the plate as you look at the Subaru strike zone. McCarthy very active in social media. And he gets the strikeout on Adames. That's 6 strikeouts. I don't know what is going on, but
Number 1, Brandon Barnes.
His offense has hit a rut here in LA, and they're having trouble just making contact.
32 strikeouts. He had 12 the first day, 14 last night, and you just said it, 6 today. And the 1 run was the home run last night off the bat of Nolan.
Barnes grounded to third, kind of on a check swing his first time up. Called strike.
Now it's Jordan Lyles up in the bullpen.
It's kind of interesting that Lyles is up because Gray is due up after Barnes. John's on deck right now, 74 pitches in. It's a 3-0 game. You're in the 5th. I think if there's 2 men on, you may see a move here, but if Barnes does not reach with 2 outs, again 74 pitches for Gray, you would assume that he'll continue.
But if you do go to your bench, you'll more than likely have Ryan Rayburn come up. And it's just been that second inning for John when he threw 39 pitches, because the first inning was 13, the third inning it was 11 pitches, and the fourth inning was also 11 pitches.
1-2 on Barnes, and another strikeout.
The 2 fireworks games are this week. Friday night it's presented by Lockheed Martin, and Saturday night presented by Coca-Cola and King Soopers. Tickets are still available You don't want to miss the best fireworks show around. Friday and Saturday night back in Lodo, Coors Field, place to be.
So Gray will take the at bat with Hundley at first and now 2 outs. Have some other notes from the minor leagues. We were talking about it earlier, Huey, that I wanted to share with everybody. Raimel Tapia, after a slow start, I mean, every time we look at a box score from Hartford, he has two or three hits, right?
Remember we were talking about swings that you look at it and you kind of break it down. All he does is throw out hits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not sometimes it's not the prettiest thing.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a strike for Raimel to make solid contact.
No, but that's the beauty of this game, that you can do what he's been doing, and it might be unconventional to some, but at the end of the day, what's his average and how does he hit?
Well, he's batting .326 in the Eastern League. I'll give you a name to remember. Right-handed pitcher Peter Lambert in Asheville. He's a high school sign out of Phoenix area. He can pitch. Mature kid. He's got a chance down the road. Jenny told you earlier, if you missed it, that Adam Ottavino pitched back-to-back days, pitched very effectively, 10 appearances now on his rehab assignment. The Rockies are going to see him in San Francisco and see if he's ready to go. McCarthy strikes out the side, 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. 3-0 LA.
Everybody, the Rockies, they're down 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Pitching coach Steve Foster hopes that Jon Gray can give them a solid inning right here. Well, for Steve Foster, it's more about pitching. It's more about baseball this weekend. It's about honoring his military family.
I feel very grateful to live in the United States of America, and I'm proud to be an American. And I'm really proud of my 2 brothers who serve in the military, Kurt, who's in the Air Force in Columbia, South Carolina, and my brother PJ, who is in Florida and Panama City. I'm very proud of them, and I'm also proud of my grandfather who fought in World War II and the Korean War, and to all the people out there who serve our country. I'm grateful for what you've done and how you served our country and given us freedom so that we can play baseball and serve others.
Very well put by Steve Foster. Just want to reiterate, it's not just about the 4th of July or Memorial Day that we honor our military. We do it each and every day, and I think it's so neat when we come to places like here at Dodger Stadium in the 2nd inning. They always recognize a military presence in the stadium, and they do it just everywhere we go. It's so special that in our country that is something that's in the forefront, and for these baseball players, they know that's a reason why they have the opportunity to pursue their passion and their dreams of being on a major league field.
Yeah, it's, you know, we should remember clearly every single day. But I think every organization, the Rockies do a splendid job. They do a great job here at Dodger Stadium of honoring our men and women who serve. It makes it an extra special experience to go to the ballpark. Chase Utley swings and misses there, and Jon Gray has his 4th strikeout of the ball game. 1 out in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Corey Seager, the young shortstop.
Corey Seager.
Might have been the best slider that John's thrown today.
It's starting to look a little bit, Huey, like Chad Bettis' outing, where Chad had a couple rough innings early and then settled in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. I thought Chad Bettis threw the ball very well. Unfortunately, there's been no margin of error because the Rockies' offense has been non-existent this weekend.
For Chad, gave up the 4 runs in the first 3 innings, and actually in just the 1st and the 3rd inning, and then had clean innings after that. A lot of strikeouts.
You know, Gray had 39 pitch inning, and that's another base hit for Seager. And then the next 2 innings were 11 pitch innings. 1 out, 1 on for Turner.
And another base hit for Corey Seager on an off-speed pitch.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
This is the 9th matchup of the year between the Rockies and Dodgers. LA leading the season series 5-3. Turner today flew to right and then had a line single to left center to drive in a run. Dodgers tried to score the 2nd run on that base hit. It was a bases loaded hit, and Brandon Barnes cut down Yasmani Grandal by about 20 feet. That's foul ball.
Justin's looking at his bat like, how did this thing hit that baseball? Try to check my swing.
Be thankful it hit the bat,
Not
Justin,
the
and not your
fingers.
arm. This is going to be a tough play, and Descalso can't make it.
A little inexperience there from Daniel playing first base. And most of the time he's been in the middle of the field. You know you have more room to run. But we knew coming off the bat it was going to be hard because you're worried about the stands creeping in on you. You're battling sun. You see him check his feet and really shuffle him on the Subaru Supermo, but came within 6 inches of catching that because of the shuffle.
This one, another opportunity, and Nolan gets down the line and makes the catch.
Good for him because Nick was battling the sun, but he was also battling all the stuff that's around the on-deck circle. You've got the pine tar rag. You've got the donut, the 2 weighted bats down there. He's got the glove up. He's just about ready to step on all that stuff, and in fact, he did step on it with the heel of his left foot before Nolan calls him off.
2 gone, and Adrian Gonzalez comes up. Adrian had a base hit in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. Gets a curveball for a strike. He's 4 for 8 now, lifetime, with a home run against Jon Gray. Two and one on Gonzalez.
Justin Turner was talking after the ball game and the win for the Dodgers last night about Adrian Gonzalez, giving a lot of the credit to what's happened lately to Adrian. Starting to drive in more runs, be that force in the middle of the lineup.
Check on Seager.
That was just a courtesy check. I don't think Corey will be running with Gonzalez up.
Not really a part of his game.
No, and then you'd also take away that hole between first and second.
Three and one.
The eagle eye from Adrian Gonzalez on the Subaru strike zone.
Now it's full. Seager will be moving with the pitch. 2 outs in the 5th inning. Rockies trailing 3-0. They've scored 1 run in this series. The home run in the 9th inning yesterday by Nolan Arenado in a 6-1 loss. Bud Norris, a newcomer, tamed the Rockies on Friday. Veteran Scott Kazmir yesterday, and it's Brandon McCarthy today, returning from Tommy John surgery, and that is caught by Descalso to end the inning. So we'll move on to the 6th, and the Rockies will have the top of the order, led by Charlie Blackmon, when we return. 3-0 LA. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. We go to the 6th inning in Tinseltown. The Rockies trailing the Dodgers 3-0. It's off to San Francisco after the ball game for the Rockies. And the Rockies will have the top of the order, and they're going to see a new arm. Adam Liberatore from the left side is going to be in the game. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Brandon McCarthy, if you're a Dodger fan, obviously you're thrilled. 5 innings, 72 pitches, 2 hits, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. He dominated.
And he was efficient with his pitches. And that's the thing. If you're Dave Roberts, you're looking at that guy coming off Tommy John, who is able to attack the strike zone really with just 2 pitches, fastball and a big curveball. Nothing really fancy. And now it's going to be, hey, you've got him out of there. Try a different guy at Adam Liberatore.
Liberatore selected by Dave Roberts, with 2 of the 3 batters due up this inning for the Rockies left-handed. You have Blackmon and Cargo. Charlie backs out on the 0-1 pitch. This bullpen has been dynamic for the Dodgers. It typically is. They have a 3.02 collective ERA. That's the best in the National League. The opposition is hitting just 199 against the Dodger bullpen.
And a whip just above 1.
Charlie tried to bunt his way on. It's fouled off, 0-2. 2 good lefties in the bullpen for LA. Liberatore with outstanding numbers, and the veteran J.P. Howell, former closer with Tampa.
Rocky saw Adam on Friday night. He threw 2/3 of an inning. Did give up a walk, and that was to Mark Reynolds. But also had a strikeout.
An 0-2 pitch, and Blackmon gets drilled for the 2nd night in a row.
Well, you'll take it. I mean, after all said and done, right now you're only down 3-0. It feels bigger than that, but that's all you are. You get a guy on base, and this is the way you do it. A hit by pitch on the Subaru Supermo. He goes down. You got DJ coming up, a couple guys on, and then pop one over the fence, and it's a tie ball game.
LeMahieu 1 for 2. He's got the average to 330. Came into the game 3rd in the National League in hitting, behind Daniel Murphy of Washington and Wilson Ramos of the Nationals. They're the top 2 hitters in the league. Cargo, who's on deck, is 5th in the National League in hitting. Liberatore touches the zone there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trying to hit Charlie again. For Charlie, that's the 4th time he's been hit by a pitch in the last 6 games. He had 2 against Toronto and then 2 here in LA.
And they got him picked off. Well, Liberatore picked up something.
Well, Charlie was going on first movement.
That's a caught stealing, 1-3-6.
A stolen base off the left-hander last night, Scott Kazmir. Yeah, that was just going on first movement. I think Adam then shortened his stride through to first, and then Adrian Gonzalez with the relay to second.
You got the big part of the order coming up is that you're down by 3 runs. Is that, you know, Charlie just trying to get something going because nothing's happened offensively?
Trying to be a little too aggressive.
You want to produce an out on the base pass.
No, not. As I said, you're just down by 3 runs. So sometimes there's a time to be aggressive. Other time it's played a little more cautious, maybe more station to station.
Three and one on LeMahieu. I'm trying to think back in this ball game where the Rockies have had hard contact. Blackman a hard ground ball base hit in the 3rd. LeMahieu a hard ground ball base hit in the 1st inning.
That's really all I have.
It. No loud outs. 3-2. And another foul ball. Watching Liberatore work. And our man Rafael Betancourt, who we just saw, is somewhere saying, dude, you work slow.
I wonder if he's going to get one of those letters from the from baseball saying you need to pick it up. Do they still do that?
I was going to say they sent him out last year. They still sending him out?
I don't think so.
Strike 3.
The pace of play letters?
Yeah. Well, with that strikeout by Liberatore, he added to the 8 by Brandon McCarthy, 9 strikeouts. Rocky struck out 14 times Saturday night. They struck out a dozen times Friday night. Cargo is coming up is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Cargo struck out once last night. Struck out several times on Friday night. Couldn't get him out back in Denver. Get anybody out back in Denver, even though the Rockies lost 2 of 3 to Toronto. Boy, this is just the most listless we've seen this offense all year. USAA honors those who have served in all of our service members at home and abroad. Beautiful 4th of July weekend. Rockies will again head to San Francisco and celebrate the 4th tomorrow afternoon by taking on the Giants. There have been 0 offensive fireworks for the Rockies in this series. They have scored 1 run. The home run in the 9th inning by Nolan Arenado last night.
And just 2 base hits today.
Jon Gray in the 6th inning to face Trayce Thompson. Thompson had the first hit, or excuse me, produced the first run against Jon Gray today by hitting a home run in the 2nd to center field. 1 for 2. This will be the last inning for Jon Gray. Cargo is going to have to bail on this one as it's into the seats.
Where Cargo was, that wall closes in on a hurry. Cargo giving back to the fans. A foul ball came all the way back onto the field, tosses it back up there. So here's a souvenir for July 4th weekend.
Two balls and a strike. Gray gave up all 3 runs in the 2nd inning. All of a sudden he couldn't throw strikes. He hit a batter and then walked 3 in a row, including light hitting pitcher Brandon McCarthy to force in a run. That was after the home run. And then Turner got him with 2 outs, a base hit. Since then he's been efficient. 11 pitches, 15 pitch 5th inning. He's gone full here against the center fielder for the Dodgers, Trayce Thompson. Younger brother of Klay Thompson. Here's the 3-2. And that ball is center field. Easy play for Blackmon.
Fans, the first 10,000 through the gates this Thursday will receive a pop socket courtesy of Brakes Plus.
Well, Cleveland had, what, the 14-game winning streak, Huey?
Yes.
And then they lost yesterday. It's just all falling apart for them. They lost 17-1 today to Toronto.
Yikes. Well, they didn't have to worry about a controversial call at home plate hurting them today.
Not when you lose by 16. Tulo had a big day, had 3 hits, 4 RBIs, including a home run.
We've seen a lot of these big scores the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, what's going on? Josh Donaldson was 4 for 4 in that game. Here's the 1-1, and the slider's in the zone. Kendrick takes it 1-2. Ground ball to first. Descalso. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Yasiel Puig. Puig will walk at a double.
Yasiel Puig.
And a base running blunder.
Yeah, he did have one of those. Game of interest to the Dodgers and Rockies. Bottom of the 6th. The Giants are leading the Diamondbacks 4-2 down in Phoenix. Suarez and Robbie Ray. On the ground to short. And Adames across the diamond. Good inning for Jon Gray. So, you know, John settled in nicely. Unfortunately, the Rockies have not gotten any runs for him. We'll go to the 7th, 3-0. Well, Huey has never made a trip to Southern California, whether he was playing for the Angels or now as a broadcaster, without doing a little shopping on Rodeo Drive. When he first showed up here from Laramie, though, he thought it was Rodeo Drive. We corrected him.
They did look at me funny when I was wearing my cowboy boots down there.
Yeah, hey, it's a rodeo.
Oh, it's a rodeo, right? Well, then I tried to buy that yellow Rolls Royce for you. And
came up a couple zeros short.
Just a couple dollars short. My per diem didn't go that far.
You did buy Wendy something, right?
Of course.
She's not listening. She's already in San Francisco.
She's already in San Fran.
Casey Fiend is going to pitch for the Dodgers in the 7th inning. And the Rockies will have Nolan Arenado, Daniel Descalso, Nick Hundley pitched a clean inning yesterday out of the bullpen for Dave Roberts. And
it was also the 7th inning yesterday for Casey, coming in today in the 7th inning. Through 13 pitches, 8 of them for strikes. Casey fastball, slider, curveball mixture.
Nolan a comebacker and a fly ball to right field. Two and 0. Three on the left side, the long throw by Utley.
Chad Qualls, who was warming up last night but did not come into the game, is
First baseman Daniel Descalso.
the third Rockies reliever to get up into the bullpen today. First it was Eddie Butler early in the game, and then it was Jordan Lyles. And now Chad Qualls is up and throwing in the bullpen.
Strikeout and a fly ball to center field for Descalso. Grounded to short against Fiend yesterday. You were playing when Angel Hernandez was
yes.
coming up as an umpire.
Yeah. Even down in the minor leagues.
Yeah. Does Angel let you know at the plate it's strike? Okay,
yeah.
you just don't hear him up here. A lot of guys have that big, Jim Joyce has the big voice. Angel's been a good umpire. for a long time, but you
So
see it from up here. You just see him raise the arm, and
Yeah, but remember Tim McClellan? Yeah, he would give it. It'd take forever for him to give you that sign, but he would let you know at the plate immediately. You could hear him. Angel same way. He'll say strike and then throw the arm up after.
Angel's big weight room guy. Stays in great shape.
Where were we? 2 years ago, I think it was. We were in Chicago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
I think it's 3 years ago.
Or maybe Milwaukee.
It was in Chicago. I remember because we ran into him in the weight room.
Yeah.
It was the opening series of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to think. What maybe it was Milwaukee. We opened in Chicago the last 2 years.
It wasn't 2 years. It was like 4 years ago. Time's flying, buddy.
Well, that's what we were talking about last night with Sean Green.
Yeah. Thought Sean had retired 5-6 years ago. It was 07. He's got grandchildren now. 3-2. That's not true, folks. Though Huey has a granddaughter.
3-month-old. Boone Logan has joined Chad Qualls out in the bullpen.
Rockies have 2 hits today. They had a whopping 5 hits last night. They had 3 hits Friday night. They have not had a hit since the 3rd inning. This ball might be a hit. This is deep right. This one is gone. Home run, Daniel Descalso. And it's 3-1. Second home run of the year for Descalso.
And both of them have come here at Dodger Stadium.
Catcher Nick Hundley.
That's the way to break up the shutout. A spinning slider. Daniel says, thank you. I'm going to power that one over the wall. Said it last night, I'd say it again. Those flat sliders, they get hit a long way. They chase that barrel forever.
Hundley's 0 for 1. He walked. And Nick kicks this ball in the air to right center field. It's an easy play for Puig. 2 outs.
July 10th is Military Appreciation Day at Coors Field, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a water bottle courtesy of Jeep.
Got Grandal visiting with Fiend with Adames waiting at the plate.
Well, that's helping Joe Blanton out of the Dodgers bullpen. Make a few more tosses.
Reinvented himself as a late inning guy, Joe Blanton, a former starter. Seth Smith, Ubaldo Jimenez, right? Teammates back in 07. Both young players on that World Series team for the Rockies.
Right.
I don't think they're talking to each other now.
Oh, Seth must have taken him yard.
With 3 aboard.
Oh, grand salami time.
A grand slam in the 3rd inning.
That's Seth's first grand slam.
That's his first career grand slam. This is a broken bat. Easy play for Utley. Rockies get a run. Descalso goes deep against Casey Fiend, and it's 3-1. Mark, we thank you. The Dodgers leading the Rockies here 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Yasmani Grandal is going to lead off Chad Qualls. And as we were discussing, takes over for the Rockies after Jon Gray goes 6 innings. Tell you about John's numbers in a moment. Qualls has the first pitch in there for a strike. League hitting .327 against Qualls.
And inherited runners, although there's none on right now, they have scored over 50% of the time against Chad. And it's probably just going to be one guy he faces, and it'll be Grandal, because look into the on-deck circle. You got the left-handed hitter Will Venable, and then Utley and Seager after that. So you get Grandal out, you go to the bullpen and bring in Boone Logan.
One and two on Grandal with Will Venable on deck to pinch hit for Casey Fiend. Lifted to center field and deep. Believed the catch? No, over the wall. Charlie couldn't reach it. 8th home run for Grandal, and it's 4-1. Dodgers get that run back.
And of the 8 home runs Grandal has hit, 7 have come hitting left-handed. That ball just kept going. He had 2 strikes on him, couldn't put him away. Wanted the curveball. Nick wanted it down on the ground. Ended up around the knees. Charlie tried to time his leap just too far over the wall. What an effort by Charlie. Let's be a closer look on the Subaru Supermo.
Well, the Rockies are going to double switch here, and Trevor Story's going to come in, so that's a good sign. And that Rockies are going to have him play here late in this game. Adames comes out. Dodgers up 4-1. Boone Logan will be on the bump when we come back. Here's this week's CenturyLink high-speed challenge question. Which of our former stars stole the most bases in their big league career? Was it Ryan Spilborghs? Was it Corey Sullivan? Was it my partner Jeff Hewson? Here's how the current voting's going.
Spilly picked up.
Spilly, yeah, did he pick up any?
No, he dropped a point, and Corey picked up a point.
Huh.
Percentage point.
I'm going to vote. You can vote at rootsports_RM to make a selection. Will Venable is the pinch hitter. Run in on the Grandal home run. Venable against Boone Logan, and that pitch is inside, ball one.
Will's pinch hit in all 3 games. Boone Logan 178 average against. And there's an out. The left-hander's hitting 167 against Boone, just 167.
Yeah, Boone had a couple of hiccups a little more than a week ago. Other than that, Boone's had a very good year.
Chase Utley.
Saw the whip a moment ago, basically at 1.
A lot of that success has come via the slider. It's been a much sharper, much better pitch this year. Velocity, the velo on his fastball is 94 to 96. That helps with the spin rates.
And Trevor Story in the double switch is in at shortstop. First appearance in this series. That pitch misses to Utley. Utley 0 for 3, 2 fly balls to Carr going right and a strikeout.
Well, that's a good sign with Trevor coming in this double switch. Because you would think if it was still bothering him at all, they wouldn't want to test it, give him another half day to a day before you go play tomorrow.
The concern they have, is if he, gets jammed again. You have one of those reverberations in the finger,
or hit it off the end of the bat.
Yeah,
either way.
Either one will send shock waves through the hand. 2-1. I've referenced this so many times through the years, Huey. And as a player, to be true, you have to win consistently. You have to have baseball symmetry. You can't hit one day, but the pitching's not very good, or maybe your starting pitching's good, but the bullpen gives it up. Or maybe in the case of the last 3 days, the starting pitching has been pretty decent, but you're not getting anything going offensively. You need to have hopefully consistency and participation in all three levels of baseball. Starting pitching, bullpen, hitting. Defense obviously is in there as well. De La Rosa, 7 innings, just 2 runs on Friday. Bettis yesterday wasn't great, but it was a winnable performance if you get some offense. 4 runs in 6 innings. And today, Gray, he had that 1 inning that he just all of a sudden couldn't throw strikes. But at the end of the day, it's a quote-unquote quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits.
4 strikeouts. He found a way to salvage whatever happened early to late, where he's 4 clean innings.
That's another good pickup by Descalso.
But to put one of those streaks together, to maybe get closer to 500, even get back to 500, got to find a way to win 1-run ball games,
Shortstop, number 5,
steal a few
Corey
victories,
Seager.
and sometimes just find a way to scratch out just another extra run here or there. Somehow.
Yeah, maintain a lead. And I like what you said there about steal a few victories. The Rockies had 1 walk-off win this year, and really only, I can't think of a game that they stole. And hopefully there are going to be a number of those in the second half. What we mean by that is a game that seems like you're out of. Today, for instance, the Rockies have been looking up to the Dodgers since the 2nd inning. They have only 3 hits. Somehow you put a couple base runners on and a couple balls in the gap, somebody hits it over the wall. Next thing you know, you walk off and you win 5-4. That would be stealing a victory, especially considering it's now heading toward the 8th inning.
But even this game, after Daniels' home run, you're only down by 2 runs. And then you immediately give it back. Chad gives it back this half inning with the home run to Grandal, and probably the only guy he's going to face.
Runs are really a precious commodity at Dodger Stadium. 2-1 on Seager, 2 hits today and 3 at bats. Hitting better than .350 against the Rockies this year. Rockies in the 8th inning, by the way, will have Barnes, Story, and Blackmon. Gave you the line on the Rockies starting pitchers in this series. The Dodgers starters, though, have thrown 17 shutout innings, allowing only 7 hits, and they have struck out 26 in 17 innings.
There's only been 2 innings in these 2.5 games that the Rockies have not struck out during that inning. The 5th inning on Friday night, and then last inning, the 7th inning here today.
Swung on and missed. Boone Logan gets Seager. He gets all 3 lefties that he faced. Grandal goes deep, and the separation is 3 again. We go to the 8th inning. We're going to see Trevor Story in a moment. 4-1 LA.
Dodgers have the lead. Well, Corey Seager on the left, Trevor Story on the right, Trevor Wilbat second this inning. These two are rookies among the elites. 4 National League rookies have 17-plus home runs, 40-plus RBIs, and an 880-plus OPS before the All-Star break. So you're talking that Trevor Story and Corey Seager now involved in that group of 4, along with the former Dodger Mike Piazza and the former Cardinal in Albert Pujols. That's some pretty good company to keep right there. Of course, Albert had 21 home runs by the break, but Trevor Story, he's creeping in on that number, guys. And if he can get back in the starting lineup by tomorrow and have this at bat today, you never know where things can go for Trevor and his power.
Yeah, it's been such a fun deal to watch. And what's been more impressive is how he's conducted himself throughout this first season in the big leagues. I mean, you talk about steady Eddie demeanor, man. That's him.
Well, and what he's had to go through from February to opening day, that first week, and what was going to happen.
The story always seems to find him as Joe Blanton strikes out Brandon Barnes. I mean, it was the unbelievable start, all the home runs down in Arizona. And then even most recently, Tulowitzki comes back, and there's, so he becomes attached to that story, the Jose Reyes situation. And but throughout it, he just keeps going about his business.
You know what? He stayed above all of it too, and he's always been gracious and humble, I think is the word that comes to mind when I think of Trevor.
And I give Walt Weiss a ton of credit in how he's handled the young shortstop. I mean, he was a young shortstop at one point in time and on a really good team with the Oakland A's, but he has counseled Trevor. He's helped him handle all of these aforementioned situations. So it's nice to have a guy like a Walt Weiss who you can lean on. But, you know, Trevor's been outstanding. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe Blanton with 1 out. The Rockies down 4-1. 1 out in the 8th inning. Story will be followed by Blackmon.
Well, it helps for Trevor to have somebody like Walt, who was the Rookie of the Year.
The Rockies have not had 2 men on at the same time the last 2 days. I'm trying to think back to Friday if that occurred.
Friday they had it in the 2nd inning. Descalso had a base hit and Hundley was hit by a pitch, and that was it.
That's the only time. And think about that. About 3 ball games, almost 3 full ball games. You haven't had more than a base runner at one time. You just need to be reminded of that.
1988 for Walt Weiss in the Rookie of the Year in the American League.
Outside 3-2. Well, they're lessons that can only be learned up here. Trevor Story is learning them while performing at, you know, a tremendous rate. And Walt said maybe short of a Bryce Harper or a Mike Trout when we were chatting with him today. He said nobody's. Yeah, they call that a strike. He said nobody's really ready for this level. He said, I remember when I came up, and he said to you, he goes, you remember when you came up, you're saying, whoa, what am I doing here?
The game's moving faster than what I expected. And for Joe Blanton reinventing himself to be the 8th inning guy, it worked out nicely for he and the Dodgers. Trevor thought that pitch was away, but 2 down.
2 down, 2 more strikeouts, now 11 strikeouts.
But you're right. I mean, you think you're a finished product. You think you're ready to go. Everybody's telling you, oh, you're there. But there's lessons to be learned at the major leagues that you have to go through the struggles. You have to go through the ups and downs.
One 1-0 on Blackmon. He's been on twice for the Rockies. 1 for 2. He's hit on an 0-2 pitch his last time up.
They've elected to celebrate Charlie Blackmon during the next player elect game on Thursday. Buy the ticket package online now and get an exclusive Blackmon t-shirt.
Midway poll again today. This is game number 81 for the Rockies. And trying to avoid falling 7 under 500 for the second time this year. That's their low point. And Blanton strikes out the side in the 8th inning. 4-1 Los Angeles. Now at Southwest.com. By StubHub, looking for great seats. Head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. And by Jack in the Box, it's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. With Jenny Cavnar and Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. An aerial view of Dodger Stadium in the 8th inning. Jason Motte takes over. Justin Turner, the 3-hole hitter, and he swings and fouls off the first pitch. And Motte trying to keep the Dodgers at bay. It's been an up and down season for Motte. And the opponent batting average is good, but Motte's given up some home runs, Huey.
It's a lot like what's happened through this bullpen, especially the last 20 games. Last 20 games for the Rockies relievers, they have an ERA over 8.
They did get a terrific baseball along the center from Logan. Terrific inning and a great stab at the baseball and catch by Charlie Blackmon. Good play, Charlie.
First baseman number
Time
23,
his
Adrian Gonzalez.
dive for this right at the right moment. Running, knowing right now that he's going to have to leave his feet on the Subaru Supermo. Jason Motte's happy, says thank you. Dinner's on me.
That's a great play. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 1 for 3. Kenley Jansen is throwing in the Dodger pen, and he went. And Adrian Gonzalez is gone. And Kenley will go over and apply the tag. 2 outs. That'll bring up Trace Thompson. The day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Thompson a home run in the second. Strikeout and a fly ball to center. The Rockies in the 9th inning against Jansen will have LeMahieu, Cargo, and Arenado. Jason Mott going for a walk. Rubbing up the baseball. It's 1-0.
Talking to himself.
That's when you know Jason's locked in.
That's right.
Slider for a strike. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Strasburg, the first National League starter since Andy Hawkins of the Padres in '85 to start 11-0. 3 years ago, there were a couple of American leaguers that started 11-0. Max Scherzer was at the Tigers then. Obviously, he's with the Nationals now. Teammate of Strasburg, started 11-0, and also Buchholz, Clay Buchholz with Boston that year.
Who's now in the bullpen and just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
I remember Andy Hawkins when he was with the Yankees.
That's right.
Faced him a couple times in old Yankee Stadium.
Three and one, and Jason Mott after the last pitch. Oh man, that's not where I wanted it.
He's jumping and hope that didn't hit Thompson too.
At the knees, a strike. Huge crowd yesterday. The Dodgers have a big season ticket base. There's more than 46,000 here yesterday. And today you can see it's kind of sporadically filled in. And it's not like everybody left. Now, there's a lot more people in the shaded area, which is the third base line, than the sun seats. But it's a holiday weekend. That misses. Walk to Thompson.
They're way up top underneath the overhang.
And they were all here early yesterday for the first time. They wanted to see the old timers game. So those seats are a lot more comfortable right now than.
That's back-to-back years we've had the pleasure of being here for old timers game.
We were here last year for it. That's right. I mean, there's always something at Dodger Stadium.
That's true.
I mean, there's always celebrities running around, former players. You never know who you'll see, and the beautiful thing is we always get to see one of the most famous Los Angelinos. Show you in a second. Kendrick foul tip, and that is our friend John Reynolds. There's John. And good to see you, John. Thank you for gracing us with your
JR.
presence.
Always a pleasure.
Aaron's back there. He's well known, but not nearly as well known in the television
He's
world
our LA
as John
version
Reynolds.
of Dougie.
You know,
Aaron is.
I was watching. I got captivated by it today, especially being the 4th of July weekend. You know, you can get the old Bob Hope USO tour videos now, and that's where John broke into the business. RJR. Working the Bob Hope USO tours during the Vietnam War.
JR.
That's where he first met Raquel Welch. They got his picture with Raquel and Margaret. And a bouncing ball to short. Trevor's got it. A flip to LeMahieu. So we'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies will have to rally against one of the game's best closers, Kenley Jansen. It's 4-1 LA. But a pitching performance, and it's Billy mentioned that Jon Gray was good after that hiccup inning in the second, but no margin for error because the Rockies haven't done anything offensively. And Brandon McCarthy, if you're a Dodger, if you're Brandon McCarthy, you're Mrs. McCarthy, you're thrilled with how Brandon pitched in, returning from a 15-month layoff for Tommy John surgery. 5 innings, he had 8 strikeouts, a walk, 2 singles. That's it, 72 pitches to navigate the 5 innings. He really threw the ball well. Scott Van Slyke is in the ballgame now in left field. Here's Van Slyke, and Kenley Jansen is in to try to close it out for Los Angeles.
23 of 26 in saves. See at the bottom, tied for 3rd in the National League. Also 3rd in ERA with the 138 for Kenley.
And the native of Curacao misses ball 1. You know what's surprising? He's never been an all-star.
I saw that in the notes, and I would have thought with the numbers he's put up pitching here in LA, division titles, that he would have been one by now, but still seeking his first.
Got 165 career saves. I always say this when we see Jansen. He is a large man. He's listed at 6'5", 270. They may be shorting him an inch or 2.
He's had 5 seasons of 20+ saves.
And he throws a hard cut fastball.
And it seems and it feels and looks harder than the 93 to 95 that he throws.
Well, you know it's downhill, right?
Well, when you're that tall, it better be.
1-2 on LeMahieu. Cargo on deck. He's trying to get some base runners. Who wants tacos, folks? Follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Strikeout, 1 out. That's 4 straight hitters that have struck out. 3 against Blanton, and now the leadoff man in the 9th inning against Jansen.
13th strikeout on the day. That was a boring fastball under the hands of DJ.
39 strikeouts in the series for the Rockies. They're not going to break their 3-game record, but they're close. 42 strikeouts in a 3-game set against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium back in 2003. Cargo 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. And Cargo hits this ball to shallow right, and it'll drop. I don't know if there's miscommunication there. Utley didn't. He's already in shallow right, and I think he's worried about Puig, who's like a freight train. He didn't give that much effort to go after it.
And Puig didn't give much effort to come in and try to catch it. See, Puig got a late break on it. Chase thinking, I can't get it.
And probably, in fairness to Utley, he couldn't get it, and maybe Puig felt like he couldn't get it. Either way, it's a hit for the Rockies, just their 4th of the game. 3 singles and the home run by Descalso in the 7th. And that run that the Rockies gave back looms large now, because you'd have Arenado up there as the tying run. Instead, it's a 3-run game again after the Grandal home run against Qualls. Nolan 0 for 3, couple of ground outs and a fly ball to right.
Nolan 1 for 6 in his previous matchups against Kenley.
Jansen is 2nd on the all-time Dodger reliever strikeout list. He's closing in on Jim Brewer, pitched in the 60s and 70s here.
Well, again, with the long history of the Dodgers, to be 2nd on that list.
No swing. 1-2. Well, we got fans on the field, and they're going to be removed. Well, the Dodger security doing a nice job. They're doing a great job.
They hustled right out there.
And they hustle him out through center field. Here are the series probables for the San Francisco series tomorrow. 1:30 start time. That's an ESPN game. We will not be televising. It's a national game. It's Tyler Anderson trying to make it 5 straight really good starts and looking for his first major league victory against Jake Peavy. Tuesday, Tyler Chatwood returns, looking for his 9th victory coming off the DL. He'll have a tough bull in Madison Bumgarner. And then De La Rosa and Johnny Cueto on Wednesday night. We're back with you Tuesday and Wednesday night. Crowd giving a standing ovation to the security folks here at Dodger Stadium. They were on that.
And a well-deserved standing ovation. It's unnecessary and uncalled for, running out on the field.
So Nolan will resume his at bat. It's 1-2. Cargo at first. One more security guy that's got a long run in from center field. Jansen strikes out Nolan, 2 outs. Five of the last 6 batters have struck out. It's just emblematic of what we've witnessed all weekend long. 14 strikeouts last night. The Rockies have struck out 14 times this afternoon. A dozen again on Friday night. 40 strikeouts in a weekend. And the Rockies have 12 hits. Cargo moves up on that pitch. 0-1. Descalso has accounted for one of the 2 Rockies runs this weekend. He had a solo home run in the 7th. Last night in the 9th inning, Nolan had the solo home run as well. So that's it. 2 runs in 3 days. Off the plate, 1-1.
We're going to have to figure it out in a hurry before you head to San Francisco. Day game tomorrow. Well, they have hit Peavy pretty well the last couple times they faced him. Then it turns with Madison, and she mentioned Johnny Cueto on Wednesday.
Ball and 2 strikes on Descalso. 3 singles and Descalso's home run. The entirety of the Rockies offense this afternoon.
Just looking at big Kenley Jansen. He's a former catcher. Now, about trying to run in to him at home plate before they had those no collision rules. I think you'd bypass that. No, it's all yours.
There was always a no collision rule when it came to him if he was catching.
One didn't need to be implemented.
No. I'm not running into that guy. Two. And that ends the ball game. 4-1 victory for the Dodgers as the Rockies strike out 15 times, 41 times in the 3-game series. They score only 2 runs. The Dodgers have swept the Rockies. Again, the final score 4-1 this afternoon. Brandon McCarthy gets the victory. Jon Gray takes the loss. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July weekend. We'll pick up again on Tuesday tomorrow, the ESPN nationally televised game from San Francisco as we go to our Denver studios. Here's Mark and Spilly, guys.